So, Mark, you've got a question for us.
Thanks, John. And it's not really a question. It's probably more of a reply, in fact, to one of the questions that Malcolm Gunnings brought up in relation to the entering the industry. But firstly, can I just thank you, John, for the invitation to come along. Tim, also for the invitation. And again, this is a great event. It's very important, not only for us as another industry body in another state to come along to participate in, but obviously for this message to get out to the greater media that these discussions are being taking place, and very important for the message is to be pushed out there. One of the points I wanted to really enforce is that barriers to entry, as we're continually being told during the national licensing campaign, barriers to entry are not a bad thing. I don't know of any professional industry, being at lawyers, pilots, doctors or neurosurgeons, I don't know one of them who hasn't sat an exam at some point in time to obtain their qualification to be able to practice in that profession. Why should real estate be any different? I see Danny looking at me. The regime in Tasmania is, it's not the institute, it's not the industry that actually applies an exam. We do have an exam in the state to enter the industry, and that's run by our, what we call a Property Agents Board, very similar to your Department of Fair Trade. Out of that, between 5 and 7% of people fail at once, and then after that there's a number of people who fail it 2 and 3 times. After you failed it the 3rd time, it's game over. You cannot enter the real estate industry. You can't sit the exam again. It's just game over. It's a benchmark. It's been set, it's been tried, it's been tested, and the industry, what we now moving towards being becoming a profession, we need to set a benchmark. And if you're a person that's out there, and with the greatest respect to all people in whatever businesses they may be in, or whatever social areas they may live, there are some people out there that should never ever be put in a position where they have to deal with selling the greatest asset somebody has got in their life, being their property. Now, for that person to be trusted to do that, it's education, it's training, it's more education, and it's more training, and it's a test before you even get to see your first person. We as an industry in Tasmania, we have just gone through a process of a whole new act. It's a brand new act that started on, funnily enough, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. We thought it may have been a joke too, but we took it up with the government. They said, no, this is the day it's going to start. In the process leading up to that, we worked very closely with our Property Agents Board and the government and Consumer Affairs. And one of the questions that was put to us was, we're considering removing the exam for people entering the industry. We took that out to our members, and we lobbied extremely hard and pushed extremely hard for that exam to remain within legislation as the qualification to enter the industry. It's not the 7 units. The 7 units are fantastic, but that exam is actually based around those 7 units. The person then after that, after they pass the exam and enter the industry, have the opportunity to go on with completing the assignments and completing the workplace assessments associated with those seven units, and continuing on with their full Cert 4, which we encourage them to do. I strongly encourage the institute members to continue to push and lobby to raise the bar, because if the bar's not high, the perception, and we all know perception's everything. Today I'm not wearing a tie, and some people would say today, oh look, the guy's not wearing ties. I've seen people not wearing socks. Yeah. See, perceptions are everything. So for what it's worth, from the REIT, Tim, you had a question?
Yeah, I do. In the paper that started the whole conversation in relation to our journey to this point and improving our education for entry into the profession, it said in there, and I was blown away by this, that we had an 80% churn, people coming in and out. And I thought, that's amazing. And I know your background is as an educator. What would be the case if we increase the education even all the way through to a university course. If we increase the education, what would happen to the churn? Would it grow or be less, or what?
Effectively, from research that's been done, the churn reduces, because the people who do enter the industry, they do continue with their education and their training, and they do get higher standards. They're there for all the right reasons. They're not there for because you drive a Mercedes-Benz and you fly first class to London. They're there because it's been a career choice. It's not been because I've just been made redundant, I've just fallen over in the toilet, and what else is there left for me to do? I'll go and list and sell real estate or manage it, in some cases, not all. But there is certainly that perception out there. So for education and further training to be encouraged and even enforced upon people will significantly reduce the churn of people within this becoming profession.